Okay, so the next file that you're going to be looking at is your Titleblock template. This is super nice that it's provided to you, and it makes things a little bit more efficient, makes your life easier, and all of your assignments are consistent across the board in terms of your Titleblock, which is nice. There are two ways that you can put your Titleblock in your drawing that you're drafting on. I'll show you the two. You pick whatever's easiest or your preference. You've been provided an 11 by 17 and a 24 by 36. These are your two main sizes that are pretty standard for this course and across the board. So whatever the assignment warrants, that's the one you should use. They all have instructions put on them already, so you can reference those if you need them. But it's pretty straightforward. These are also set to no plot. So even if you plot, they should not show up because in the settings, no plot is selected. So don't worry about them, basically. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to have a drawing with something randomly drafted on it, whatever it is, right? And then you go to your layout, and you're going to do your page setup, modify. I'm going to make sure my plot style is set. My DWG to PDF as my plotter. And then we also want to choose, this is kind of important in terms of getting your Titleblock perfectly in the right spot. Make sure you get a full bleed of whatever it is. So it says Arch D, but it says full bleed. The same thing applies for if you go and find your ANSI full bleed for your 11 by 17s as well. So this one, great. And we're going to push OK. Close. So you can see that little dashed print border that exists on the page. It's no longer there. It's all the way on the existing outer edge of the page, which is nice. Also, my page is set to black. That's my personal preference. If you want to change yours to that, it's in the options. Shoot me an email or Google it, and you can change it to that as well if you wanted to. But just so you're aware, mine's black. Default is white. So if you're wondering why that looks different from what yours does. So then you're going to go to your Titleblock template, and you're going to type in copy. Oh, well, probably easier to Control. There we go. So Control A or drag, drop, and you're going to select everything. Then you're going to type in the copy base command. This takes copy one step further by getting to select the grip point that you're stealing this item. And when you paste it, that grip point is where it's going to be controlled from in the next thing. So we want to get that bottom lower hand corner, this 0.00 coordinate spot. And you want to turn your snaps on. So you can do that with the F8 key or this button. Make sure it's blue. Your arrow, you just need endpoint on to get this one. So you're going to grab that corner. After that, you won't see any difference except your command is done. Then you're going to go to your next one. And in this one, I just realized the page size is wrong. So I'm going to go change that to 11 by 17. So 11 by 17 full bleed. Nope. There we go. So then we're in our new one that's 11 by 17 and full bleed. Control V, or you can also type and paste, whichever works for you. So now if you see your mouse is holding it by the same spot that you clicked in the other file. So rather than clicking and have it not necessarily line up, you're going to type in 0, 0, enter, and it will snap it perfectly on the page, ready to go. And you already have a viewport that has been provided for you. If you need to draw viewports, it's just viewport. And this is your window that looks into your model space. So if I double click into it, I am now looking at my model space, and I should be able to oh, it needs to be unlocked. That's what it is. My bad. So make sure that your viewport is unlocked so that you can scroll freely in and out. So you can find the thing I drew in model space, and you'll put it at whatever proper scale it needs to be, 1 to 20, 1 to 30. As long as it's engineering scale, that's important. That's for plans, engineering scale, and your architectural scales primarily for details and enlargements. And after that, to leave your viewport, you double click out. And so this is going to be your window into your model space, and your viewport is also set to no plot as well. But that's about it. So there's the first method. You can delete this if you want to. The other method that you can use to put a title block in, you can go in and modify these as needed. Right? So you can do that with any of these. Make sure you actually do that and change them each time you're submitting for an assignment. And then, so the secondary method that you can do, which might seem a little bit more complex, so feel free to avoid this method, whatever works the best. So if you notice the file that has the title blocks, it also has them drawn in model space. So rather than having independently free items sitting in paper space, you can XREF this. What XREF means is you're just externally referencing a different file from one file. So I will go to my drawing that has things drafted in it. I'm going to type in XREF, enter. You get a little pop-up box. And you're going to go up here, drop down, and you're going to choose Attach DWG. You'll navigate to wherever your title block is saved. Select it, push open. And then you're going to choose, so you're going to say okay, as is. You just need to make sure that when you go through those settings, that the scale stays 1:1. Your insertion point, you want it to go to 0, 0. So you can either do that or you can type it in manually when it comes in. So okay, and I can type in 0, 0. Now this, you can see, has both of these title blocks, just like this part of the file does. So it referenced the model space from the title block template and placed it in here. So if we want the smaller one, we'll do our move command, M, enter, or you can type in all of this, MOVE, enter, and make sure you get your snap on again, and you can snap to this corner, and then you can snap down to the corner here and click, and you've got a title block there. And since all of this is outside of the layout, it will not print, and it's referenced. With this method though, the only way to edit your information that's on your title block is by either right-clicking and opening the XREF, which is the file that you've referenced here. And you can type in your information and reference that one file and save it, and it'll update it. The value in doing this method is the more stuff that you put on your paper space. Sometimes it's a pain, you end up moving any of these items, shifting them, scooting them, deleting them, all those things, and you can lose track of them in the process. So this method allows it to stay pretty clean in your paper space without all the moving objects. You'll also need to add in your viewport from this part, so viewports, and you can choose single, okay, and it's that window into the model space that this is creating. So it created a window into your model space. I'll double click out, and you can click on it and set your scale. You can also click on it and lock it so that you won't move the insides of it and keep it to scale. Make sure that when you do add these items, an XREF either needs to be on an XREF layer or it needs to be on the 0 layer. That's the best file management for that. And your viewports need to be on a viewport layer. So you're going to check up here, and you're gonna, while your viewport is selected, that's selected, you're going to click viewport. And now when I select it again, it says viewport, which means it's sitting on that layer. So then it's ready to go. Whichever method works best for you, that's the way to go. And if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot an email if I've missed anything. But this should potentially make your plotting a lot faster, easier, and a little bit more